I want y'all to say it with your chest, or at least a thumbs up. If you believe that the entire NFL, that the world is sleeping on the Raiders, I want you to hit that like button right now, because I'll tell you this. I do think with Pete Carroll, with this brand new regime, with everything that this organization has done, I think we have to look at what the picture that they're painting is, because it definitely looks like a much different picture than what we've seen in the past. I believe in this Las Vegas Raiders team, and I do think that the NFL is absolutely sleeping on them. And guess what? Good news for everybody out there, because the Raiders were listed as a sleeper team by Rich Eisen. I think Rich Eisen is one of the best in the biz at doing what he does, and I do think that he's a little bit of a Raiders fan here. I'll say this. I know that Eisen had the Raiders as a sleeper team last year, but he had them as number 5 in his top 5. This year, he's got the Raiders at number 2, and the reason why that I think that, that's kind of interesting, the number 2 team on Rich Eisen's sleepers team last year, the Washington Commanders. The team that drafted a brand new quarterback, a team that had a brand new regime from top to bottom, and a team that went all the way to the NFC Championship game, and a team that I honestly think that the Raiders are really trying to model what Washington did, and I hope that we have just as much success. So coming up here on today's show, I'm going to sit up here and I'm going to tell you why I agree with Rich Eisen. I'll just give him a little pat on the head because I agree with this. And I'm going to be breaking down why Las Vegas is a legit sleeper team from top to bottom. The first reason is this, and, I wanted to put this note in there, but I do think it deserves to be put in there. The Raiders are a sleeper team because nobody thinks that they can win. Now, I think that they can win some games, but I think if you were to ask non-Raiders fans, is this a playoff caliber team? They're probably going to tell you no. Is this a team that can compete for the AFC West? They're probably going to tell you no. But you know what? I don't mind being doubted, and you can't really blame people for having that thought process, right? Now, right now as it stands, Vegas has the Raiders win total set at 6.5 games. 6.5 games doesn't sound like a team that's going to have a lot of success. I'm going to take the over on that every single day of the week. The Raiders are projected to finish last in the AFC West, which they're projected to finish last in the AFC West every single year. They went 0-6 in the West. I know, I don't want to remind you, but it's the truth, last year. And they have the plus 10,000 odds to win the Super Bowl. 26 best odds. Like, you can't call the Kansas City Chiefs a sleeper team because everybody believes in them. Teams that are sleeper teams come up out of nowhere. And here's another thing that I wanted to say. When you talk about just why they deserve to be slept on, last playoff win was January 19th, 2003. Last AFC West title, 2002. Second most losses, 228 frickin' flippin' losses since 2003. Trailing only the Cleveland Browns. I know that this has been a very frustrating franchise to follow. I totally get it. But I hope that people, when they look at what this organization and regime is doing, they say, we're doing things differently, and we're building this thing the right way, and that's why I do really believe that this team is going to shock some people. Let's go to another reason here of why I believe in the Raiders to be a sleeper team. Let's talk about the coaching staff. Let's talk about the front office from top to bottom. The front office that the Raiders were able to put together this year, led by John Spytek, I love it. Think about also, they go out and they get a guy like Brian Stark. You go out and get a guy like Anthony Patch, stealing people who have been working underneath dudes like Howie Roseman, Omar Khan, very well-respected front office members in the National Football League, which is going to help out our draft. Then you talk about the coaching staff. Pete Carroll has won a national championship. He's won a Super Bowl. And from top to bottom, I know that Tom Brady, Pete Carroll, John Spytek know not only what it takes to win a Super Bowl, but to how they build a Super Bowl caliber team. And it does. It starts from the janitor, it goes to your quarterback, and it goes all the way up to your front office to the owner and Mark Davis. I think then you look at the coordinators that we have. Patrick Graham and Chip Kelly is the best OCDC that the Las Vegas Raiders have had probably in 20 flipping years, and I'm not afraid to say it. Then you also talk about the quarterback coach and Greg Olson. Very, very well-respected coach. This coaching staff and front office is so diverse with tons of NFL experience, tons of college football experience, and when you blend all of that together, I think it's going to create something really special. So you know what? I think of the Raiders Fab Five as this Fab Five. You got minority owner Tom Brady, head coach Pete Carroll, general manager John Spytek, new OC Chip Kelly, and returning defensive coordinator Patrick Graham. Based on these 5 people and these 5 people alone, What is your confidence level in this group? And I want you to scale it for me from 1 to 10. This is going to be the pinned comment here on today's show, so you're about to get hit with a YouTube ad break. While that ad is playing, I want you to scroll on down, give me your answer. My answer coming up here in just a moment. You can say I'm just a diehard Raiders fan if you want, but it's a 10. And I'm not saying that the Raiders are going to be this Super Bowl winning team right away, but I believe in Tom Brady, the guy that's won more Super Bowls than literally anybody, and he's won it with John Spytek. John Spytek has been able to build something very, very special in Tampa Bay, and I hope that he's bringing it to Las Vegas. Chip Kelly just won a national championship as an OC. Patrick Graham, one of the most criminally underrated defensive coordinators, was getting some head coaching opportunities this past year. Like, from top to bottom, Pete Carroll, I love, and I mean this, I love what the Las Vegas Raiders have done this entire offseason. Coming up here next, though, I got more reasons why I agree with Rich Eisen. And I got more reasons why I do think that the Raiders are a legitimate sleeper team. Because you can be a sleeper team that wins 7 or 8 games. But I think if you're a legitimate sleeper team, you're trying to get in that 9, 10, 11 win range and try to go out and win a playoff game. Before I break all that down, though, today's show sponsor, I absolutely love them. It's Chubbies. And I just tell you this right now. These deals are so good and Chubby shorts are so good that they're going to make your chubbies look really nice. Go to chubbyshorts.com/chat, 20% off your first purchase. Let's face it, y'all. Summer's here, which means it's officially time to let the dogs out. And by dogs, we mean your legs. If your pups have been stuck in jeans or sweats for the last few months, set them free with the Line Swim collection from Chubbies. Whether you're poolside, lakeside, or oceanside on that long-awaited vacation, these trunks are ready to travel. Life's too short for uncomfortable swim trunks. So these babies are set up for all-day comfort, which a quick, dry stretch fabric and a built-in liner that actually does its job. No more chafing, no more soggy butt, no more mesh disasters. And when the sun goes down, you're heading from the beach to dinner, swap into a pair of everywhere shorts. They fit right, feel right, and go with everything. And after wearing them once, you'll find yourself wondering why you even own other shorts. Whether you're suiting up for cannonballs, cookouts, or casual Fridays, or who knows, maybe a Raiders Sport Tuesday show, Chubbies has you covered. And for a limited time, Chubbies is giving our listeners 20% off your order with our code CHAT at chubbyshorts.com. That is code CHAT at chubbyshorts.com. Support our show. Tell them that we sent you. Summer's here. Dress like it. I have my honeymoon coming up right around the corner, and I'm really excited to be able to wear some of my Chubby shorts during my honeymoon. I'll also tell you this. I have a Star Stripes American flag branded Chubby swim trunks. I was wearing them this past weekend, and it's amazing to me how flexible that I'm able to move. And I only say that because my dog Chuck was swimming in a pond, and I had to go in and get him one time. But, like, you know, when you're actually able to move around in some swim trunks and they fit you right, you look good, you feel good, and you're going to get that exact same thing from Chubbies. Also, the people that own Chubbies are awesome dudes, and that we've been working with them for a long time. That link's going to be available to you down in the comments, down in the description of today's show. It's also where I got this shirt. Let's go to the next reason here of why Las Vegas is a sleeper team. They improved at the quarterback position. In all honesty, I could have started this show and I go, I believe the Raiders are a sleeper team because we upgraded the head coach and we upgraded at the quarterback position. Those two things alone are going to make most NFL teams out there a lot better. I mean, Geno is the best quarterback that Las Vegas, Oakland, the Silver and Black have had since the 2016 version of Derek Carr. The past quarterbacks we've had the last 2 years, from AOC, Jimmy G. Hoyer, Minshew, and Ritter, going to Geno, I don't think people realize how big of an upgrade that really truly is. And it's not a secret. The NFL is a quarterback-driven league, and when you look at a lot of the teams that made it to the playoffs the past few years, it's because they had a good quarterback and a reliable head coach. We didn't have that, and we haven't had that for an extremely long time. We do finally have that now. If you want to see even more reasons, though, of why I'm so damn confident in Geno Smith, I promise you this. If you watch this video, you're going to go, holy shit, I think Geno Smith is the top 10 quarterback. And I'm not saying that just from a Raiders fan standpoint. The numbers back it up. And if you want somebody that has statistics, that has that numbers never lie mentality, if you watch this video and you don't think Geno Smith can be a top 10 quarterback, you're either a closet 49ers or Chiefs fan, or you just don't want to face the fact that Geno can be that guy. I mean, this is one of the reasons why I think that the Raiders can be a sleeper team, and this is one of the stats that I have in that video. Just a little tease if you want more information like this. The Raiders this season, 12 dome games, 5 outdoor games. Through the course of Geno's career with Pete Carroll, with Seattle, okay? Not with Pete Carroll, with Seattle. 36 starts outdoors, 25 of those at home, 43 touchdowns, 31 interceptions, and a quarterback rating of 89.7. His indoor games, all on the road, 14 starts, 30 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, a quarterback rating of 110.8. Face the facts. I feel like a lot of times we hear like certain running backs, certain wide receivers are better on grass compared to turf just from a speed standpoint. Like I bet you Dante Thornton Jr. is a lot faster on turf compared to grass. Well, here's the thing. When there's no wind, when there's not a lot of other elements, and you have a quarterback that is as accurate as what Geno Smith is, and you take the elements out of it, he's a better QB. It's not rocket science. And then you combine Geno with Chip Kelly, with the players that we have. I'm telling you, go watch that video and you're going to go, yeah, Geno Smith is going to legitimately help out this team a lot, which helps us be a better sleeper team. Let's go to the other reason here of why I think that this team is a legit sleeper team. We got young studs. And I think we did a really good job this offseason of marrying our young studs, like a Jackson Powers-Johnson, a Max Crosby. I'm still going to call him young. He's 27, 28 years old. Max Crosby, JPJ, Brock Bowers, Ashton Genty, right? These are guys that are obsessed with football, and they would give their left nut probably for the game of football, right? And when you have those type of players and you blend that with dudes like a Landon Roberts, you blend it with guys like honestly, Lucky Fotu, from what I've heard, has actually been working his freaking tail off. Alex Kappa has been working his freaking tail off. But when you bring in the compete mentality with a bunch of younger players and you bleed it together, you got guys that are 23, and then you got guys that are 30 that are going out there and they're competing, which makes the overall team a lot better. It also helps then when you get guys like Colt Miller and Jacoby Myers who won a new contract, who aren't guaranteed anything, and you look at a lot of other situations around the league where those type of players, they're sitting out. They didn't. They showed up to non-mandatory things. Why? It's that Pete Carroll effect, but it's because they also want to be a part of something special, and they see the young talent that we have, and it's legit. Really good young talent. Let's go to the final reason here, and this is just a little one, but, I kind of wanted to throw it in there. The Raiders' schedule. And when you look at the Raiders' schedule, I do think it actually really helps us out in terms of getting the ball rolling. What do I mean by that? I believe that every man, every woman, every person is a lot different at their job, is a lot different at whatever you're setting your mind to when you have confidence in yourself. And I do think that it could be a little bit of a challenge to get the ball rolling because we have a new OC, got a brand new head coach, got a brand new quarterback, a lot of different moving parts. And when you look at this Raiders schedule, it's a lot easier in the early part of the season than it is at the later part of the season. And I like the fact that the Raiders get a little bit of like that buffer time, get a little bit of that time to kind of get their feet wet, get the mojo going on offense and defense, and then they get ready for the gauntlet that is week 10 through week 18. Yeah, you got week 12 against the Browns. Sure, you got week 17 against the Giants, but you know what? What happens if those teams figure it out? What happens if the Giants turn it on? What happens if the Browns have an elite defense? Like, I've watched this game long enough to know that if the Raiders can get their confidence going, and if you can be playing your best brand of football by the end of the year, anything's possible. So I love the fact that we get a little bit of time to kind of figure out who we are. And then right before the Week 8 bye, not right before, right after the Week 8 bye, you have the NFL trade deadlines right around that time period, which I think is a really good testing spot of, we just played the Kansas City Chiefs. That's going to be a great example of, are we legit or are we not legit? And if we are legit, how do we become even better? And if we're not legit, how do we potentially get better? And then that final Week 18 game against Kansas City, if you can beat the Chiefs in Week 18, and that game actually matters. I'm not saying they rest their starters. If that game actually matters Week 18, you go into the playoffs and you think, I can beat anybody. And with the brand of football that this Raiders team is going to play, a physical FU style of football, people aren't going to want to run into that team in January. And man, I hope also in February. So Rich Eisen, I agree with you. I do think that the Raiders are a legit sleeper team. And I'm okay with the NFL sleeping on us. I'm okay with the NFL not giving us the light of day. You know why? Because we really haven't deserved it. But I hope that this year we go out, we show that we are a legit team, we are a legit franchise. And we might not win a Lombardi now, but I do think that we are moving in the right direction to finally hoist that Lombardi at Allegiant Stadium.